Ladies and gentlemen, let's count the different ways, or let's count all the reasons that the wonderful Joe Biden will not be nominee. Okay, we can start off with, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. I don't know if we we just started back again, but let's count all the reasons, people, that Biden will not be nominee and Hillary Clinton will be nominee. This is important because they set up and framed Trump not to elect Biden again. They did all of this for Clinton. Now, we'll start with Biden knowing that President Trump's campaign, including Michael Flynn, was being was the subject of a very grandiose endeavor. There was never any evidence. James Clapper had no evidence. The ODNI report, the DHS report, lists no evidence. The CrowdStrike CEO states there's no concrete evidence. Adam Schiff promised evidence 253 plus times on cable news. He couldn't provide evidence. But all they say is Trump without evidence claims, Trump without evidence claims. The entire media, intelligence community, Democratic Party, Hollywood claimed without evidence. And not only that, journalists from other countries as well claimed without evidence, citing the opinion, citing the viewpoint, citing the conjecture, the hyperbole, the confident, high to moderate confidence assessments. The high to moderate confident assessments of Clapper and Brennan and Comey that Trump might have worked with Russia, and we had to find out. One way to deceive people is to be as vague as possible. If someone is accusing you of something, and they accuse you of the most vague, broad allegations, or with Trump, for example, it was never a specific, well, you paid or you received this money for a speaking engagement. Your foundation got money from Russian lobbyists. It was never a specific allegation. It was contacts with Russia, interference. Nothing is quantified or defined or narrowed down in any way. There was Russian interference, and we're looking at potential Trump ties to Russia. Florida Man Bear! Did you see the new press secretary dropping HJ's greatest hits? You know what? I think that there could be, possibly. I have no evidence. I am just Florida Man Bear acting like James Clapper. I have high to moderate confidence that there are people within the Trump administration that perhaps read my writing in the Times of Israel and the Federalist, and even my old articles in the Huffington Post or Salon or The Hill, and perhaps also, enjoy my work in my YouTube channels. But thank you, Florida Man Bear. Thank you. I have high to moderate confidence, Florida Man Bear. James Clapper had no evidence, yet they went after Trump, and they did so through manipulating words. They did so, by the way, everybody, please share. It's below in the description. My Times of Israel article. Share it everywhere on Facebook. Hillary Clinton, not Biden, will be nominee in 2020. It's below right now in the description section. Subscribe to Bizarro World Goodman. My goodness, my cousin, I don't know. I think he's on a fishing trip or something. But he's going to, by tomorrow or the next day, he's going to have some new segments up. And definitely share my Huffington Post article as well, all throughout Facebook. Hillary Clinton 2020 is a reality. Get ready for 8 years of Trump. What's taking place, ladies and gentlemen, is now we're finding out that Biden Now we're finding out that Biden is part of the whole racket. Florida Man Bear, thank you as always. Thank you. They used broad, vague, expansive terms and phrases. I don't do evidence, I do intelligence. This is what James Brennan said. I don't do evidence, I do intelligence. I don't do evidence, I do intelligence. The Steele dossier was raw intelligence. Clinton getting it. D-Lin! Thank you. Clinton, the criminal probe, FBI criminal probe, was a security review. Clinton deleted yoga emails. Loretta Lynch spoke to Bill Clinton about golf, Brexit, and grandchildren. We were being infiltrated by a foreign adversary, even though President Obama stated numerous times that the Cold War is over. So President Trump had ties with Putin. We had to investigate the potential ties between the Trump administration. He might not have worked with Russia, but he accepted help. He asked Putin for help. This is one way to deceive. This is just a classic way to deceive and to foment a great deal of fear. Trump's ties to Russian intelligence. There were no ties. He had no ties. Jennifer Raymer, great live stream. Hey. Jennifer, thank you. Thank you. But I'll read you, ladies and gentlemen, what I always read nowadays. And this is and I have to actually add the DHS report too, the Department of Homeland Security. But we already know what's going on. Now it's just a matter of more information coming out. So this is James Clapper's initial intelligence report, compiled with help from Comey and Brennan. They have judgments, they're not certain. They don't have claims. They don't have intelligence from the United States of America. They used a Steele dossier and then a CrowdStrike assessment. These were outsourced by Democrats. They literally purchased their own hoax. Because with Clinton, Trump didn't force anyone to delete yoga emails and wipe servers clean and unlawfully transfer top secret and special access program intelligence onto servers outside of the United States government. But I'm going to read you this. This is the ODNI report. This is pertaining to the hacking even. The interference. They have no clue how many people saw Facebook ads and swung their vote. They had no clue how many people voted for Trump because of Twitter bots. They have no clue if the Russian disinformation campaign influenced even one vote. Yet they're rolling with it. Why? Because judgments are not intended to imply we have proof that shows something to be a fact. Honey, do you love me? Well, I'm highly to moderately confident, but judgments are not intended to imply that we have proof that shows something to be a fact. Assessments are based on collected information, which is often incomplete or fragmentary. High confidence generally indicates that judgments are based on high-quality information from multiple sources. High confidence in a judgment does not imply that the assessment is a fact or a certainty. Such judgments might be wrong. What? Does that mean you love me or you don't love me? I need to know. Jimbo! Thank you, Jimbo. You know, I tell you what, the way I see it, the Flynn judge, in a very roundabout way, I'll tell you, Jimbo, thank you. Tell everyone hello from me at the pub. Thank you. As always, Jimbo, thank you. I tell you, I really do think that this is going to help President Trump in the long run. I really, really do think that, because the courts still believe that Clapper and Brennan and Comey and Strzok and McCabe are the definition of law enforcement. So the more that comes out, the worse it is. I'm telling you, Jimbo and everyone here, thank you. I think that, you know, I think that this is going to help out in the long run. Jimbo, as always, I hope all is well. Thank you. Luke St. Martin, Eric H526, thank you. As always, the two best moderators. But it's basically like, if you were to ask a significant other, you ask, will you marry me? Well, I'm highly confident I will, but judgments are not intended to imply we have proof that shows something to be a fact. High confidence in a judgment does not imply that the assessment is a fact or a certainty. Such judgments might be wrong. President Trump needs to quote that. President Trump should have quoted that from the very beginning. And then they would have said, his own intelligence agency. He's even going against his own. They play all these games. So William Barr peels the layers from all of this, uncovers a setup, and then they say his own intelligence, his own, and then they even call Mueller his own, what was it? Like, they call the Mueller probe like his own executive branch concluded. They play so many hilarious games. And if you're not into this, you don't care. You think that, you don't, if you're not into it, if you don't watch this channel, obviously, if you don't, watch Judicial Watch, they're at the forefront of everything, Tom Fitton, John Solomon. You don't watch, if you're not into all of this, then you don't know what's going on and you don't care. Did Trump work with Russia? I don't know. It's just, I cannot stand anymore when people say, they're all so bad. They're all so bad. They're both are bad. Both are bad. This is the same. No, they're not the same. D-Lynn, thank you. They're not the same. You have one political side. The Republicans were infinitely more corrupt in the early 2000s. Now you have Democrats, infinitely more corrupt. They take turns. Who knows? Maybe after President Trump, Republicans will be a lot more corrupt. Who knows? But these political parties take turns. But the difference, though, no, there is no difference. The Bush administration utilized the intelligence community. President Obama's administration utilized the intelligence community. The intelligence community is only composed of corrupt chiefs, intelligence chiefs, and managers, assistant directors, all of these top-level management, and that's it. You saw the same thing with George W. Bush, the worst president we've ever had in our lives. He's the one who started never-ending conflict, never-ending military quagmires. George W. Bush is the worst president we've ever had. President Obama is, I wouldn't rank him as one of the great presidents we've ever had. And he had a litany of scandals and controversies that nobody even touched. In fact, During President Obama's administration, something happened that never happened before in American history. We always had a peaceful transition of power. That ended with President Obama's administration. I am under grace. The 2020 election will be very toxic. It will. I agree with you 100%. That's why I say I say this to all my viewers. Do not under any circumstances, do not under any circumstances debate. Do not any under circumstances debate, discuss, have an argument with family members, friends, co-workers when life starts again for people. Don't do it because it is going to be very toxic. Don't do it because there's no point to it. You have to also understand, ladies and gentlemen, this is very important. You need to understand this, ladies and gentlemen. You need to understand this. And everybody in Australia, Jimbo, tell everyone at the pub, everybody who's watching, I have amazing viewers in Nepal. One amazing viewer always watches. Thank you. In Argentina, I have everywhere around the world. In the United States, Canada, UK, I'm letting you know something very important. It's very important. And it's the key to understanding the 2020 election. They don't care what happens to Trump. Nothing. They don't care what they did to Trump. They don't care. We can go ahead tomorrow. William Barr and John Durham can indict Comey, McCabe, Clapper, Brennan, and they can have the same treatment that everyone around President Trump received, and they still wouldn't care, and they would spin it and they would say Trump is an authoritarian, but they're not the authoritarians for doing that to Trump. Larry, will do a little later on. Will do. They do not care. You have to understand, they see the world in a completely different way. Ignorance is bliss. And they don't understand also why anyone would vote for Trump. I know why somebody would vote Democrat. I used to be a Democrat my whole life, up until recently, or the past couple years. I'm telling you, they don't care. They don't know. They're completely oblivious. That's why, you see, you type in Trump, the headlines are getting more belligerent. The vitriol is increasing within these headlines. You really, it's something I've never seen before. They're going to go all out, and it ain't going to be Biden. It ain't going to be Biden. It ain't going to be Biden. This whole thing, okay, Biden is part of all of this. Biden is part of all of this. He's part of all of this. He's also part of the failed NATO intervention. And then you have the Mueller report. The evidence was not sufficient to support criminal charges, among other things. The evidence was not sufficient to charge any campaign official as an unregistered agent of the Russian government. And our evidence of the June 9, 2016 meeting was not sufficient to charge criminal campaign finance violations. the evidence was not sufficient. Further, the evidence was not sufficient to charge any member of the Trump campaign for conspiring with representatives of the Russian government to interfere in the 2016 election. They still haven't explained interference. What do you mean? You mean people who found out that Bernie Sanders was cheated? You mean then you mean because of those people? You mean those people who didn't want to hear who didn't want to learn that a political party was cheating its candidate? Those people might have voted for President Trump or not voted. It's a fault of that's the issue with the Democratic Party. That's their corruption is their corruption. The fact that we knew about their corruption is not interference. That's like saying the Washington Post interferes every single day just to undermine Trump. Oh, it's different with the Access Hollywood tape and Trump. Oh, that's different. That's not interference. That's just knowledge. But Debbie Wasserman Schultz being forced to resign, that's not knowledge. That's interference from a foreign hostile power. They didn't want Clinton. She would be tough on them because she might deny them 80% more of U.S. uranium capacity. Oh my goodness, she's so tough. The whole thing, ladies and gentlemen, was a complete setup to pave the way for only one person. It wasn't to pave the way. Biden is, it's now beyond a, it's now beyond a, it's now beyond like a theatrical performance. This is actually hurting them. The Democratic Party is like a zombie. They're like just a zombie. They're just running on the fumes of Trump contempt. That's it. They're running on fumes of Trump contempt. That's it. Does anyone truly believe that this man is going to be nominee? I mean, I'm talking about, does any Democrat truly believe that he could defeat Trump? It ain't ever going to happen because this is all for Clinton. I will have made the biggest political call of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest political call of all time. Not to toot my own horn or pat myself on the back, but it's going to be pretty big. Pretty big call. Bill Abrams III, Bill Abrams! My Democrat lawyer family in New York are completely nuts and Trump not in a good way. Don't talk to any family in New York. I have family in New York too. Don't talk to anyone. Bill, they're in a different world. And definitely don't talk to them in November because, I mean, that's like the Titanic and 50 icebergs. Bill, thank you as always. Thank you, Bill. Big Chris! Feeling pretty good with some shots in me. Here's a beer on me, buddy. My favorite song is How Long by Pat Kelly. Old school. Love you, man. Stay good. Big Chris! Big Chris, thank you so very, very much. As always, thank you, Big Chris. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. As you know, and please be here. Bill, Chris, everyone, be here in November. Nice. That's a great song. November is going to be a great month. It ain't going to be so fun for Democrats, I can tell you that. They're not going to be happy. They will not be happy in November. Trump is going to win, and he's going to defeat Clinton again. And it's going to be amazing. Big Chris, thank you. Thank you as always. Thank you for watching. Bill, thank you. Loud Citizen. Serious question. How do you keep your head from spinning with these daily avalanches of documents? Well, you know, they're all going to lead to the obvious conclusion that Democrats won't be able to. They'll never ever admit. They'll never admit that President Trump was set up. But Loud Citizen, all of this is slowly leading to people getting indicted eventually, and that's after the election. There are enough people for Clinton to run again in 2024. I know it's kind of bizarre to think this because she's not nominee yet, and everyone, the whole planet thinks that Biden's going to be nominee. Biden's not going to be nominee. And you better believe, everybody, that Clinton's going to run in 2024. Biden's going to run, Hillary's going to run in 2024 if she loses again, because she doesn't, there is no sense of, okay, they've spent 4 years convincing people that Trump is the worst thing that ever happened to the United States of America. He did not get us into military conflict like Bush. He did not destroy a country like Biden, Clinton, and President Obama. He didn't do any of these things. The economic depression, near depression we have is not his fault. There is nothing that you can say that Trump did that was a travesty. You can't say there were some. Yes, you could say that there were missteps in President Trump's administration. Sure, like any administration, but nothing unique to President Trump. You want to talk about cages? They were built under President Obama. I mean, so we can go ahead and every issue you can look and say, well, okay, you don't have a leg to stand on. You don't have the right to judge or pontificate. You are either worse or marginally better from a liberal perspective. But I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to get. There's no point in discussing, because the thing is, I would have no problem. I would love to debate anyone with a major platform who really dislikes Trump. Oh, I'd love to. But I'd eviscerate them. They would never. Okay, everybody on the left who has major platforms, who loves the Democratic Party, they would never debate me, because I know their Achilles heel. Because I came from that world. Okay. So they used to call me the left used to call me a fringe left goon, which is kind of hilarious. Loud Citizen, thank you. Big Chris, thank you. President Trump is going to win again, and they're not going to know what to do with themselves. It's going to be pretty amazing. They're not going to nominate Joe Biden because Biden is there as a placeholder. This was obvious from 2017. Clinton is just taking her time because there are enough people who despise Trump with every fiber of their being. Okay, I honestly don't despise. I don't have any I look at Clinton the way you would look at Darth Vader. And I know that she's done a litany of reprehensible things, but I don't have any hate in my heart for the Clintons. I don't. There are people who have hate in their heart for Trump, and Trump hasn't done a fraction. He hasn't committed a fraction of the crimes of all the horrific acts of either Clinton. Ask the people of Libya. Ask the people. President Trump is the first president to step foot in North Korea. That alone is a bigger accomplishment. Now you're having than anything President Obama accomplished, and that certainly anything Clinton accomplished. Clinton hasn't had a foreign policy accomplishment. Literally, Madam Secretary had 0 foreign policy accomplishments. I want to know which one. And President Trump is reversing U.S. foreign policy, which we need to get out of places. We cannot allow American soldiers there forever. Only Trump came in and said, yeah, you know what, we're going to reverse this. Everyone's like, oh my God, no, don't do that. So, you know. GTO mama, definitely the EQs. Definitely emotional quotient. Chris Cullen, will Biden go from seat warmer to whipping? Pretty much, I think so. The best is that the entire left now is H.A. Goodman, meaning, and then Biden goes, well, meaning that they still think that Bernie Sanders is going to replace Biden. I stated that Bernie could still win up until July 5th, 2016, when Comey covered up Madam Secretary's crimes. Then I didn't say that Bernie was going to win. But Bernie had a different campaign back then. He even appealed to conservatives. Joe Biden the other day, we're in the middle of a pandemic that has cost us more than 85,000 jobs as of today. More like 3 million lives of millions of people, millions and millions of jobs. Okay, Joe. Whatever you say, buddy. Whatever you say. This is just hilarious. We're at a point right now where, do we really have to pretend? I'm letting the people know, to the wonderful, wonderful people in the Clinton campaign, I'm actually going to give you some advice that you can actually win with. Don't listen to me. I was only quoted by NPR stating accurately predicting the election in 2015, even more so than 538. But you know what? You do your thing. Bring out Madam Secretary, spark up the jetpack, the Super Bowl I jetpack, have her fly around Milwaukee, and get ready for the convention, even before the convention. What's that? What is that? Oh my God, it's Clinton. She's flying around Milwaukee. And you don't want more of this. Maybe they do. Maybe they're just every single day Joe Biden. Oh my God, he took his clothes off. What? And then you get the articles. It's okay that he took his clothes off. Just because he took his clothes off and jumped into the reflecting pool. Well, Trump did worse. Trump is worse. Okay. The funny thing is, they're not. The independent voters are like, this is nuts, and they're only defending Biden now is only going to help you with people who would vote for Biden anyway. So you're not doing anything. You're not helping Democrats by pretending that Biden's really the nominee. I'm trying to help you, Clinton campaign. There has to be one person in the entire Clinton apparatus that listens to this channel or reads my writing. There has to be one individual that has common sense. I'm trying to help you. I'm a Trump supporter. I'm trying to help you. You're not going to win no matter what you do, but you'll get closer this way. So do it. Okay? This is hilarious. Just this is what we have to deal with now. Okay? This is what we have to deal with. All right? Let's check this out. Hold on. This is Biden. So do it. Okay, hold on. This is Biden.
we're not at a moment for excuses or deflections or blame game. We're in the middle of a pandemic that had cost us more than 85,000 jobs as of today.
You're about close to 3 million off. No, 30 million jobs 30 million unemployed. So you're off by about 30 million.
This is not a moment for excuses or deflections or blame game. We're in the middle of a pandemic that had cost us more than 85,000 jobs as of today. Lives of millions of people, millions of jobs.
Okay. Democratic nominee. Whatever you say. This is the Hill. This isn't like, I didn't get this from like super Trump, super Trump. By the way, there's a really great, I have to thank one person on Twitter. Old school dad man. I don't know anyone voting for Joe, especially women. I know. This is old school dad man. Joe Biden is the only person on the planet who's like, let me give you my paternal touch. Oh, yes. Old school dad man, thank you. He's always in people's personal spaces. He's always in people's spaces, Joe. Get out of my airspace. Biden, get away from me. And then there was a PBS article today. I did a segment that like 2 people saw on my main channel. And every article, every paragraph, this is totally because, it's Biden and Democrats and the bias is like obscene. But one paragraph was like, he's in everyone's personal spaces and people were always uncomfortable. Then the next paragraph, he empowered women. And the next paragraph is nobody could corroborate the allegations from Tara Reid. Then the next paragraph was like, but it was uncomfortable when he started, sniffing me. So it's just always the same thing. Never go after Trump, but go after Biden. And you know what the interesting thing is? They're using Biden as it's like they're almost getting all the criticism that Clinton might face, having Biden just absorb all this criticism. So there's a really, really great pro-Trump account. They did this like really cool like kind of like this like film clip of one of my segments. It was kind of cool. This is really hilarious too. And then I don't know what to make of the oh, nice. So Tim Pool tweeted this out, and this is from Lauren Boebert for Congress. Okay, so I saw this the other day, and I didn't know what it was, whether it was taken out of context. Someone should tell Joe Biden the DNC communications director just said on national television. She said that they're not going to nominate. But my God, this is exactly what I've been saying forever. I mean, the vindication is going to be amazing. Old school dad man, thank you. They're literally they just spilled the beans and like nobody covers it because they don't like shh, Madam Secretary, don't we gotta roll with this. We gotta roll with this because we don't want anyone to really know what's going on. He writes, I don't know how else to interpret this. Is she straight up saying that they need the DNC to happen so they can nominate someone other than Biden? Was she trying to say the nomination is just about Trump? It really sounds like Biden won't be nominee. He will not be nominee. He will absolutely not be nominee. I will have made, ladies and gentlemen, to my viewers in Australia, Jimbo, everyone at the pub, to my viewers in the UK, Canada, New Zealand, Nepal, Argentina, everywhere, to New York, to LA, I will have made the biggest political call of all time. I'm just waiting. Please, Clinton. I will donate, help you out. I'll be one of your interns. I don't think I'll go that far. Oh, I like the way that sounds. H.A. Badman's going to be an intern. Okay. Cosmic Grandpa, hello. Do you know how many people I know personally who I told and they said that I was nuts? Good people, too. And you know me. You know my personality, everyone watching. You know my personality. So imagine if you're my friend. Imagine that I would never let it go. Ever. So I'll be like, oh my God. Guess who's not nominee? Biden. Guess who is? Hillary. Ah. Webby, 85,000 jobs. Webby, oh my God. I'm sorry, 600,000 jobs here. Oh my God. Horrible. Webby, thank you. Webby, thank you. Let's listen to this again, Webby. Webby, let's listen to this again.
This is not a moment for excuses or deflections or blame game. We're in the middle of a pandemic that had cost us more than 85,000 jobs as of today.
You're about 30 million off in the U.S.
Lives of millions of people.
About hundreds of thousands off in Australia.
Millions of people. Millions of jobs.
He doesn't care. The man does not care because he knows that nobody will remember his campaign. The history books will remember that Hillary Clinton was a gutsy woman not seen since Joan of Arc. Jimbo! Bob Boy's coming to a pub near you to buy you a beer, H.A. Thank you, Jimbo! Thank you, Jimbo. Give my regards to everyone at the pub. Thank you so much, as always, for your support. It's greatly appreciated. And Madam Secretary is she's waiting. She's waiting, Jimbo. Be here in November, of course. And Webby and everyone, Big Chris, everyone. Everyone. Bill, everyone. Bill Abrams! I would not trust Biden to run the family. Oh, yes. What is that? Purina Petrow? Oh, yeah. That sounds fantastic. Yeah. Jimbo, thank you. Thank you, Jimbo. Thank you as always.
There's a real possibility that the convention doesn't happen or happens in a virtual sense. Is that correct?
First of all, our convention has to happen because we are not officially nominating Joe Biden in order to take Donald Trump. So our convention is happening.
Yeah, the convention's gonna happen. I don't even want to make a big deal because then, they're gonna be like, oh my God, this was taken out of context. Jimbo, thank you. Octavio Sandoval! Octavio! What laws did possibly break during... Well, there's 18 U.S. Code 371. And Octavio, 18 U.S. Code 371 is what I wrote about in the Federalist pertaining to McCabe and Comey. 18 U.S. Code 371. This is what they wanted to use against Trump. If you conspire against the United States or conspire to defraud the United States, this is a federal offense in the United States of America under 18 U.S. Code 371. The crime is that two or more persons who conspire to commit an offense against the United States or to defraud the United States. Millions upon millions of dollars. Well, hundreds of millions, billions. When you talk about the media and how much airtime they spent convincing people of something that never happened, that is a whole lot more than one person conspiring to that's a whole lot more than one person conspiring. So the issue is when you start with a bogus narrative and then you utilize government agencies to foment that bogus narrative or that disinformation, that's a crime. Octavio Sandoval, thank you. 18 U.S. Code 371. But let's listen to this again. Oh, I missed the clip. Okay, Joe Biden, the hell. Oh, hold on. I have it right here. Hold on. I have it right here. Hold on one second. No, okay, hold on.
This is not a moment for excuses or deflections or blame game. We're in the middle of a pandemic that had cost us more than 85,000 jobs as of today.
He doesn't even care. Do you understand? He doesn't care. He doesn't care that anyone would believe that he cares. They don't. You don't understand the Democratic Party. It's like Boss Tweed and Tammany Hall. They don't care. They have people who believe anything. They have people who will believe anything. Absolutely anything. They do not care. They do not care at all. Check it out.
This is not a moment for excuses or deflections or blame game. We're in the middle of a pandemic that had cost us more than 85,000 jobs as of today. Lives of millions of people, millions of jobs. You know,
could you imagine he's debating Trump, and like Lord knows what he would say, and then they would still say he won. They would still say he won. The Joe Biden insult bot is kind of funny. But it's just that's like yet another way of trying to turn one of the 50,000 negatives into a positive. I mean, it's just unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable, people. How easy society changes. How fast society changes. Octavio Sandoval! Well, let me type President. Octavio, it's very... The world will change after President Trump wins in 2020. In November, Octavio, please be here, Octavio, and everyone. Please be here in November. We are going to have the best. We're going to have the best time. Because there was a couple weeks back, where I said, wait, Clinton could win this. But it ain't going to happen. The longer they go with Biden... See, right now, everything is predicated upon the sensibilities of Democrats. They would not, maybe they wouldn't like, well, it would take a second to pacify any resistance to Madam Secretary. But who knows? They're really happy. They're really happy pretending that they have a primary. So maybe Madam Secretary is like, you know what? We'll just wait. But it's going to be Clinton as the nominee. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back at about 11:15. So, ladies and gentlemen, be back. We'll do this all over again. Different topic. 11:15. Different topic. Always veers back to the same topic. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very, very much to my super chat. Thank you. Subscribe to Bizarro World Goodman, H.A. Goodman's other channel. People, I will be back in about a half an hour. Around a half an hour. So be here in a half an hour. Thanks, everybody. Have a great, great evening. And if you want more live streams, I'll be back in about a half an hour. Thanks, everyone.